power supply on, but it's... Oh!
Power supply doesn't short circuit and come into contact with the rest of the system.
Welcome to PC Gaming in 2023 is a Mess Part 2. I'm responding to pretty much everyone's comments in the last video. You guys said a lot of really good things, had a ton of good points. I actually missed quite a few games too that came out that were terrible.
Seems like it's seen better days.
So I kind of wanted to go over the main talking points from the last video and also include some of the other things that I missed in this video. Let's just get Redfall out of the way because there were a few comments about Redfall and I can't believe I completely missed that game. That was one of the top... people are saying this now. They're saying we're going to have a worst game of the year award, which would be pretty funny. And Redfall would be probably up there considering it comes from a crazy good developer, Bethesda. And then on top of that, Arcane Studios, which was the creators of Dishonored. One of the other issues I failed to mention in my last video was the whole 7900 XTX and 7900 XT's cooler problems. They actually had a problem with the vapor chamber where the liquid was not staying inside. It was essentially evaporating, and there was poor contact points causing overheating and artifacting and a lot of problems with those cards. Luckily, on that situation specifically, AMD took care of it really fast, and we didn't really see too much of it come up again. What I really want to talk about in this video is the hardware aspect. Now, a ton of you guys said it's actually a really great time to build or buy a PC, which is true. There are tons of deals on the internet. If you're looking at the used market, you can find an RTX 3080 for 450 bucks. There's so many good processors out there, which I touched on in my last video. But there is this common similarity between everyone who comments on videos like my video or even like a Linus Sebastian, Linus Tech Tips video, and other content creators in the tech world. Most of you guys are actually pretty intelligent and you're just like myself. You enjoy watching and consuming tech content even if you've already built a PC. And then there are the people who have absolutely no clue what they're doing, what they're buying, and that's actually kind of where a person like myself comes in. A majority of customers are actually referred or from Facebook or any place you can sell hardware, and often what happens is I'll get a message from like a previous sold computer, a person inquiring about buying or building a new system, and they don't even really know where to start. And so I'll give them my best tips and advice and charge them a small fee for the assembly and the time that goes into it, and pretty much that's it. And I've always been very honest about it, but I can see as time has gone on that it's become very, very confusing. And to give you guys a good idea of some of these clients or people that I get, I'll often ask them who they watch on the internet to see if they actually have any background knowledge. And just recently, I sold a pretty nice computer to a guy who had no idea who Linus Sebastian was, Jaystwocents, Gamers Nexus. He didn't know any of that stuff. He didn't know where to start, and I had to basically walk him through the entire landscape of what he should buy, what his price point was, his intent of use, what are you going to do with it? Are you just gaming? Are you video editing? And we came up with a pretty decent system. But now he's very involved, posts on PC Master Race, always asks me like random questions, and is super into the hobby. So I want to present a scenario to you guys, but I just want to say ahead of time, I'm very aware that people aren't running out to buy RTX 4090s. I'm always kind of surprised to see how many people do spend a ton of money on their PC. It's actually kind of incredible. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. And yeah, so just keep that in mind. Now I'm going to present to you guys a highly unlikely situation, but I just want to get it out there because it is something that could totally happen. So let's say you're new to the whole entire PCMR lifestyle and you go to buy a 4090 because people are telling you the only way to get good performance out of the 40 series is a 4090. And you go with a 7800 X3D. Now you bought these parts, you saved up, and this is a common situation by the way too. People think that just because somebody goes out and buys a 4090 that they're like rich or something. No, people who don't have money also go out and buy these cards. Think of it like friggin' Gucci flip-flops. It's the same thing. So they go out and they buy these components to get this really badass system together. They go and they watch the first tutorial you find on YouTube. Let's search how to build a PC. I love TechSource, but this video is 2 years old, so let's click on it. And the first thing that we see in this video is a B550 board, a 5000 series processor, which is a Ryzen 7, and then a RX 6800. Totally great computer, will pretty much game and play anything today. But this is not what you bought. Now, if any of you guys watch E-Rock on Deck, he did a ridiculously good series on the AM5 platform going over memory issues and the ridiculous struggle that he had getting a stable system. And that brings me back to the new customer. So you're new to the whole experience. You go and you buy all these parts. Even if you bought a pre-built, you could run into similar situations depending on who configured the PC. But let's just say that you built it yourself and you get to the point where you're installing memory and you're having issues with memory. So you spend, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours researching on how to properly install memory on your new AM5 platform. Then you get it all good and going, and in a month your motherboard dies because you had an Asus motherboard that was overvolting the CPU. What if also during that period of time your connector melted on your RTX 4090? Now obviously these two things are just highly unlikely to happen at the same time, but that a whole experience that somebody new coming to the platform could potentially have is terrible. Let's use a different scenario. Let's say you had faith in the pre-built company. You went and bought something like a Intel 13600K system with a, I don't know, RTX 4060 Ti. You spent quite a lot of money. You're coming from something like a PlayStation and you are used to playing those AAA games. That's what you're into. You're not into the Steam survey, who's playing Apex Legends, who's playing World of Warcraft, whatever anyone plays all the time that's always on PC. These newcomers are going to play new games. They're probably interested in AAA titles because they upgraded from their PS5 because they want more fidelity. So they go and they jump to this pretty expensive computer, you know, an RTX 4060 Ti is $400. And let's just say the entire computer is somewhere around $1,200, $1,300. And their experience booting up a game like The Last of Us, and they really want to try The Last of Us because they played it on the Sony PlayStation and it was and now they're going to play it on PC and their PC experience is terrible. I think you guys get where I'm going with this. I feel like the people who are going to get the worst experience are the newcomers. I think anyone who's been on the PC platform for a while is smart enough to know how to buy, or at least how to research what they're going to buy. And a lot of people I see are coming from stuff like the 2070 Super, and they're buying something like a new 6800 XT, 6950 XT, brand new, because you can actually still buy them new. And they're just skipping the new stuff. They're getting the best deal they could, or they're going to the used market. And those are the people who are constantly playing the most played PC games, whereas these newcomers are coming in to experience something new and crazy. More fidelity, better graphics, better performance overall. They want to play those games. They don't really want to play the indie game that's like got millions of hours on Steam. And jumping back to the issue with the DRAM on the new Ryzen platform, most newcomers probably won't even get past that. There's a good chance they'll just return everything and say screw it, because people have very short attention spans now. And typically, you know, it's not you and I, somebody who could troubleshoot or get through it. It's usually somebody building it for the first time, and they'll either do that or they're going to go and they're going to spend a ton of money having somebody else troubleshoot it, and it's going to be an awful experience. That's pretty much it, guys. I just want to say one more thing before I go, though. Anytime you see those new people join any of the PC communities, if they ask a dumb question, just try to answer it as best as you can. A lot of those people have no idea. They're coming in for the first time, and it's usually their first experience. And I know the internet is kind of like a crazy place. It's the Wild West. People come in and they say some of the dumbest stuff. I've seen the weirdest questions. But I don't know. Sometimes you can just try to do your best to give them a hand. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I will see you guys next time. Peace.